When your home needs help, you might not know where to start. Why not ask Ace? We're always here to help with Ace Handyman Services. Our talented craftsmen handle everything from drywall and carpentry to doors and kitchens. We're the neighbors you trust to get the job done right. Let's get started. Book your handyman appointment today. Ace Handyman Services, bringing helpful to your home.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Need a fast, efficient, and affordable cleaning service? Complete Care Concierge has you covered. Serving all of West Michigan, we offer one-time, daily, weekly, and bi-weekly cleans. Plus, we can clean for your move-in or move-out. We service apartment hallways, laundry rooms, homes, offices, businesses. Our work is guaranteed. Gift cards are available. We even clean on weekends. Spring is on the way, and there's no better way to get a start on your spring cleaning than with Complete Care Concierge. Are you a busy professional? Let us take vacuuming and dusting off your plate. Keep your business looking and feeling its very best. Call 616-264-1397 for a spotless space and total peace of mind. And hello, my name is Michelle Steffen, and we're so happy today to be joined by Matt Gryczan, who is the recording secretary for the Polish Heritage Society of Grand Rapids, and he is here to help me tell the story of Stanley Ketchel. Welcome, Matt.
Well, welcome, or thank you, Michelle. Thanks for having me.
And can you tell us a little bit about the Polish Heritage Society and your work in Grand Rapids?
The Polish Heritage Society of Grand Rapids, our mission is to maintain and foster a appreciation for Polish heritage in our area. And there's a lot of people here who are of Polish descent. You know, as a matter of fact, in the 2000 census, Grand Rapids was listed as the 19th city in the United States of having people of Polish descent. So we try to foster that.
Wow. And am I correct that Chicago is first?
Yes. And then many other communities are throughout the upper Midwest and mid-Atlantic states. And oddly enough, Texas is big too.
That surprised me, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Was the time period that the immigration to Texas, was that any different than the period of immigration to the Midwest? Was the Texas group first at the same time?
Well, there were really 3 waves of Poles coming from Poland. And at that time, Poland wasn't even a country. So the earliest wave among them were those that went to Texas.
Okay. And as I was reading, I came across the story of Stanley Ketchel, and this is a person of Polish descent that was born in Grand Rapids that has a pretty amazing story. So thank you for helping me tell it.
Oh, sure. He was a fascinating and colorful guy, and he was probably the very first person from Grand Rapids that was a national celebrity. He was born and raised here, went to St. Adalbert's grade school, Union High School. Then he decided to, at the age of 15, he headed out west because he had been reading all these pulp fictions about finding adventure out in the West.
Oh, I see. I wondered how it was that he ended up going to Montana.
Oh yeah, he rode the freight trains to Montana, and he worked in the mining camps as help, washing dishes, that kind of thing, until he went to a fair where there was a booth, and you laid your money down to see if you could knock out the champ. Well, he knocked out the champ. He put his dollar down, which is quite a bit in those days.
Yeah.
Knocked out the champ in the first round, and the proprietor of the casino theater and saloon saw him do this, and took him on as a attraction at the casino. So what he would do is,
Wow.
yeah, he would get up and he would be on the stage and take on any comers who would say, yeah, I think I can knock this guy out. And he hit them so hard that they went over the floodlights right into the laps of the people in the front row. So he was known for being a very fierce competitor, and he was a very colorful guy. The boxing mob loved him.
Yeah.
They said that he punched hard, he drove fast, chased women, and toted a gun. So he was certainly no choir boy, but he was a remarkable boxer, and his fame became he was a middleweight champion of the world at that time, and he had a tragic end where there was a botched robbery at when he was at a ranch. He was managing a ranch in Missouri. Stanley Ketchel was a remarkable boxer, and his middleweight champion, and he consistently tried to even go to upper weights. So he fought a heavyweight by the name of Jack Johnson, who was well known at that time. Johnson was 50 pounds heavier than Stanley Ketchel, and they had what was kind of billed as an exhibition bout, and they did pretty well for the first 9 rounds. They were matching blows and that kind of thing. And I think that Stanley, he decided that he was going to try to knock out Johnson. Well, he hit him and knocked him down. And Johnson got up and was so mad that he hit Ketchel with all his might and actually hit him so hard that several of Stanley's teeth were embedded in Johnson's glove.
So I had read in one of the sources that they had a plan that they were going to stretch the match out to a certain number of rounds so that people would watch it on TV. But then Stanley decided not to keep the agreement and he knocked the other one out earlier. Is that true?
That is up to dispute. And this was before TV even. So you had live crowds. And this was in 1910. And what happened is I think I saw the fight. I watched it. They had actually photographed it, taped it. Not, but with like a camera.
Right.
And when I saw it, they both were fighting pretty hard. Ketchel was smaller and faster, so he was able to keep out of Johnson's reach.
Mm-hmm.
But they both were fighting pretty hard. I don't think it was really an exhibition fight. But certainly what happened is Johnson did hit him with all of his might, and it really shook Ketchel to the point where he had to retire for a little bit.
Right.
And that's why he went to, he came home here to Grand Rapids to try to recuperate. And he met a man named Dickerson, who was a millionaire in Wyoming.
That was one of my questions, was how he knew Dickerson.
Yeah, he was a millionaire in, I'm sorry, I didn't say not Wyoming, in Missouri. So he took an immediate liking to Ketchel and asked him to manage his ranch there. While he was there, he was just recuperating and managing, and there were a couple of ne'er-do-wells, a man and a woman who portrayed themselves as husband and wife, but they really weren't. And they had hatched a plan to rob Ketchel, because he usually had a wad of cash on him and he had a big diamond ring.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was a botched robbery. The guy shot him with a .22 caliber in the lung, and Ketchel, he died. It was, I think it was certainly unfortunate all the way around. They did catch them and they convicted them of murder. So when it was just a real tragedy that his career was cut short.
Yeah, and then I was reading that one of them was convicted and served 23 years, but the woman claimed that she didn't know that Stanley was going to be shot, and because of that, she only ended up serving 17 months.
Yes, that's correct. And actually, in reading this background on it, I think that was appropriate. This Goldie Smith did not really think that that the robber would be actually shooting him. But I got to tell you, this gives you a sense, to give you a sense of how popular he was in Grand Rapids. When his casket came home, it was a cold, and he was ready for burial. It was a cold October day, drizzling, in 1910, and the casket made its way all the way from the Belmont area. The funeral cortege was 5 carriages. His was a beautiful lead carriage, followed by another 23 carriages, all the way from Belmont to downtown Grand Rapids, and it snaked all the way through downtown. The streets were lined with people waiting to see the casket come by, and then they fell behind it. So you had this huge procession of people that had gone over in the east side of Grand Rapids, took Bridge Street over to the west side, over to St. Adelbert's Church, where he actually attended grade school. Well, as you're seeing in that photo, there was an estimated 5,000 people that showed up for his funeral. And some sources say that was the second largest funeral in all of Michigan, exceeded only by our other favorite son, one of our other favorite sons, Jerry Ford. Those people from the group of people at the church then followed them over to the Polish Roman Catholic Cemetery, and nowadays it is known as Holy Cross Cemetery.
I used to drive past it on my drive to elementary school every single day.
Well, there you go. Then you know exactly where it is.
I know exactly where it is. I could find it without directions.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful.
Yeah.
And I'll bet that you probably have seen the monument then.
Likely.
It's on Richmond Street, very near the exit. There's an exit from the cemetery. It's just probably about 50 feet from that. You can see it from the road.
Okay.
Now, the Polish Heritage Society was working on restoration of another monument at Holy Cross to the soldiers who fought for the independence of Poland. And we noticed that the monument to Stanley had fallen into disrepair. The descendants of Stanley had tried to keep it up, but it's beyond any sort of repair right now. So
we're looking at a photo of the cracked concrete.
That's
right
correct,
now.
and that's one of the parts that we are looking to restore. We're going to remove that and pour new concrete.
So is my research correct that it was Mr. Dickerson who funded the original monument here?
Yes, Michelle, your research is right on. He did, and it was at a cost of $5,000, which was a substantial sum at that time.
I did the math. It was $166,000 and change today.
Isn't that something? I mean, he felt that Dickerson felt that Stanley was the best friend that he ever had, and I think he also felt like he was a son. He would have been a son.
And felt a lot of guilt because of what happened.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, let's back up just a little because I passed over some good stuff that we need to talk about. So here is the statue on Bridge Street.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And this was done by Peter Secchia's Grand Rapids Community Legends, which is a project to place memorials to Grand Rapids legends and heroes around town. So this is the one for Stanley Ketchel, and it is on Bridge Street.
Yes, it's in the 400 block of Bridge Street. It's a larger-than-life statue of him. And coincidentally, Ann Hirsch has contributed to our restoration of the monument over at Holy Cross.
Oh, wonderful. And here is another, and this is near the Ketchel Childhood Home.
That's correct. So for people in Grand Rapids, that would be right across Stocking Street from the former Arsulowitz Funeral Chapel.
I see. Okay. And then that gives some of the history on the plaque as well.
Right. And it shows roughly where his childhood home was.
Is the home still there today?
I don't believe it. I think it was demolished for the expressway that came through.
I see. And so here's another picture of the memorial.
Yes, that's in its early days. And that's a better. That one is well wishers at the monument. Now, Ketchel is not buried under that. He is buried very near it, only a few feet from it. And the family, we are working with the family to clean all of those headstones and the monument itself, as well as recaulking it.
And the monument was made of Vermont marble and granite. And you all are carrying on Mr. Dickerson's wish that the grave be kept beautiful. Now,
Yes.
Tell me about the bullet and coins. You sent this photo along, but I wasn't quite sure what it meant.
Yes, those are some items that well-wishers have left at the monument that we did a work B in October last year to clean it up, and those are some of the things we found at it.
Oh, wonderful.
And overall, the family, the Polish Heritage Society started to look at this project in about a year and a half ago. And we contacted the family and have been working with them to restore it to its original grandeur.
Mm-hmm.
And then we've also been working with the cemetery staff to make sure that it's done appropriately with their regulations.
And how can people contribute to this project?
There's two ways that they can contribute, donate, and that one of them is to go to our website, polishheritagesociety.com. And if they go to the Contact Us tab at the top and then go right down to the bottom of that page, there's a PayPal link there. You can also use credit cards, or you can send a check to the Polish Heritage Society at the address shown on your document there. And if they do, anybody who contributes $25 or more, we're going to send them a button that shows that they're a friend of the Ketchel Monument, and we'll also make them honorary members of the Polish Heritage Society, where they get this snazzy lapel pin.
That is snazzy.
And a membership card that's good for discounts at local meat markets like Sobeys and Lewandowski's and Frank's. And we will also be inviting anyone who donates to the unveiling ceremony of the monument, it'll probably be in April. We're getting close to reaching our goal. We set a goal of $2,500 to do this, and we're probably about 2/3 of the way there. It's maintaining. It's not only for Polish people. This is maintaining a marvelous piece of Grand Rapids history.
Well, thank you. And we will put all the donation information in the show notes. So if you're interested, you can find the information to do that.
Well,
All
thank you so much for having me, Michelle. We certainly appreciate your highlighting this heritage.
Thank you so much for coming on, and thank you for all the photographs and everything that you provided for the report.
Thank you,
All right.
Michelle.
Thank
Bye
you.
now.
Dad, there you are. Where are
10
you?
years ago, 2015 at Polish Fest, and I wanted to mention that my wife was half Polish. Sometimes she was German, sometimes she was Polish. They kept changing the border, but the family's originally from Poznan, so I think that counts.
Yeah, that was one thing I found when I was researching this piece, is that when the Polish immigrants came to the US, the borders weren't defined, the country didn't fully exist yet, and the statistics on how many Polish people were there and are even here now, it's a little bit confused because they didn't have a great way to track it at the time.
And then my dad's boss was Bill Braniska, and he was as Polish as could be. He had a Polish flag on his desk, and he smoked these cigars, and he was quite a colorful character.
Yeah, I've been to Polish Fest, I don't know how many times.
Mm-hmm.
But that is only one small part of what the Polish Heritage Society does.
Mm-hmm.
Matt was telling me they still have 14 halls in the Grand Rapids area.
Yeah.
And this is one of my favorite things that I own. I got this on a trip to Poland.
Oh, no kidding.
And it made it back unscathed. I have one other one.
Oh, I'll have to pick out, when we have in the fall, we have the Polish parade here in Grand Rapids too. And probably put the flag up that day.
Yeah. So a couple of other things. These are from my trip to Poland in 2022.
Mm-hmm.
And we went to Warsaw, and it was a lot of fun. And we actually went to a movie in that building. That building was a gift from the Russians. And we were looking up, hey, what goes on in there? And there are movies. You can go. We went and saw Top Gun.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's not propaganda film, from Russia or anything like that.
No, modern movie with subtitles.
Nice.
And then a few other photos. There's the rainbow going down into the church there.
Yeah, isn't that a neat picture?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, of course, I'm from the Chicago area, and there are, literally hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people in the Chicago area that are of Polish descent.
Yeah. Well, thank you to the Polish Heritage Society and Matt Gryczan for coming on to tell the story, and we'll put the donation information in the show notes.
Sounds wonderful.